All right, special list here for Peterborough Speedway. We're talking about the 20th annual Autumn Colors Classic coming up October 5th, 6th, and 7th. Brought to you by Lucas Oil. www.peterboroughspeedway.com has all the information. I'm standing with the reigning and defending limited late model champion of the Autumn Colors Classic, handsome Chris Mitchell. And Chris, you're a local guy. You're a Peterborough regular. Tell me all about the 2011 edition of the Autumn Colors Classic.
It was a culmination of a dream for me, right? We started there, you know, as a kid. I talked to you before last year, you know, the interviews that we had about everything that I'd done at that track, and to be the champion in my hometown, my home track, it's a dream come true. I don't know what else I can say.
I mean, when you look at what you expect of yourself, after you win an event of that caliber, heading into the following season, I mean, do you sort of ratchet things up? Do you expect more of yourself as a competitor?
We've talked about that. I mean, my worst enemy this year coming into 2012 for our edition of that race is going to be myself. I'm most worried about living up to that expectation. I mean, my race schedule has been so limited in factors with the rest of things in life. I mean, at this level, at the amateur level, I mean, there's so many, we all have regular jobs, so it's going to be up to me to decide what I want from that race and what it means to me to be able to do that. I mean, we're serious about it. We come and we come prepared. We come to win. We want to be a repeat, you know, the champion again. Obviously, that's why we raced to begin with. But I don't want to out-psych myself in thinking that that's got to happen, right? We're still here to have some fun too, and I could potentially ruin my whole weekend just focused on that too much, make a stupid mistake. I need the patience. You know what that race is like, right? A 75-lap race, that many cars there. We need to be sure that we're there at the end of the race, and that's what's going to be important. So I need to remember that no matter what. I mean, last year was a great season, and of course we'd love to repeat, but it's going to be what it is. So I can't get that too deep.
How important of a role does strategy play in winning the Autumn Colors Classic?
I think a fairly big one. This year's going to be completely different with the chase for the colors. I think there's going to be a little more emphasis, depending what JP decides to do with the invert, or I would assume, or at least I hope. I haven't spoken to him about it, but when you've got the chase color guys for the colors, pardon me, first and second, then I assume we're going to start the field straight up. So qualifying is going to take a much larger role if you need to be up front, because those guys are going to be in the lap traffic immediately, and you got to be there, because to try and catch up to them later is going to be a tough deal. So this year is going to be an interesting thing. So strategy is going to play into it big time.
You mentioned that you've been operating at an extremely limited schedule this season.
Yeah.
When you're going out there with guys like Andy Camerath and Tom Walters, who have had, you know, easily 20+ shows this year, do you feel that puts you at a bit of a disadvantage?
Yeah. Yes and no. Peterborough's still my track, right? I mean, those guys are coming into my house. We've had limited success at other tracks, but I don't have the seat time there as much as they don't have the seat time there. I mean, Tom and Andy both had a great run at Peterborough for the chase for the colors, but you know, chance happened to me in that race. I mean, it happens, right? So we dealt with it, and I'd like to think that just local knowledge means a lot. You know, it's gonna play a role. I hope, at least I hope it does, anyways, in what's gonna happen in this year's class.
I know that you don't really want to help your competition, but if there's one thing that you could say to guys that have never won the Autumn Colors Classic, what's the most important thing that they focus on? What do you need to focus on to win the Classic?
Well, there's so many cliches in this sport that are about that. I mean, you got to be there at the end to win. You know, you can't win it on the first lap. Any of those play into that race. You know, last year was relatively caution-free as far as major incidents go. I mean, if you look at years past and what's happened in that, transpired in that race, there's been so many cars and so many cautions that's played a factor. But the longer green flag run last year really helped me, and our program has always seemed to be stronger on the longer runs. So if this year's any different, then I don't know how that's going to play into the outcome of the race, but I guess time will tell.
It's going to be exciting. We're only a couple of days away. Go ahead and thank those sponsors for me. Who's going to make all this possible?
Same as always, Dent Dynamics, Earl Ireland Auto Sales. We've got Kawartha Metals back on board, as we've always had. Race Toyota's been a big help with us. Kevin Thurnbeck Construction, ISL Insurance. A lot of guys have been with me since we've been running Enduro cars. I'd like to say thank Dan St. Cyr and his guys. Appreciate for what they've done for me for this big show, and we look forward to trying to be a repeat winner.
There you have it, folks. Autumn Colors Classic, the 20th annual, brought to you by Lucas Oil. It's coming up October 5th, 6th, and 7th, and this handsome devil in front of me is getting ready to head into that weekend and repeat as champion in the limited late model division. There you go, folks. It's handsome Chris Mitchell. Thanks for the time, buddy.